So you're interested in a detox diet, specifically a raw fruitarian detox diet, because you have some type of flare up or chronic illness or something that you're trying to reverse. This can be some type of autoimmune issue. This can be a gut health issue. This can be things that are leading you to have kidney disease, gout, GERD, high blood pressure. Who knows, right? You want to know how to detox your body. Now, in particular, I want to get into how the detoxification works and then what you can actually implement in your diet and kind of how you should structure it in order to go through that detox and start to reverse a lot of these issues. Now, the key to detoxification is a combination of carotenoids, polyphenols, and tannins, which are chemical compounds to work to pull toxins out of your cells and alkalize your body. The litmus test for health is pretty much the balance of your body's pH, right? Alkaline to acid, right? You develop certain chronic illnesses, or pretty much any chronic illness, as a result of an excessive level of acid accumulation. And in order to offset that, you have to be able to drive some of that acid accumulation out of your cells and have that be either neutralized in your liver or cleared out through your kidneys, right? And your body has a variety of different mechanisms to do that. But you can leverage some foods to be able to make that process happen. So for example, there are foods that contain astringent properties, right? These are like cleansing foods in a way. Now, astringent foods, to name a few, are things like apples, pears, grapes, pineapples, grapefruit, and watermelon, to name a few. And then there's cherries and strawberries, things of this nature, right? And when you eat an abundance of these foods, you accelerate the alkalizing process. Now, these foods will hydrate your cells, and they will also shrink down or decrease mucus accumulation by draining acid out of your cells and driving more oxygen and nutrients into your cells, right? It's this alkalizing effect. In combination with that, there's also things like herbal teas. So for example, moringa tea, green tea, basil tea, nettle tea, ginger tea, just to name a few. And so while you have those astringent fruits, and then you have these teas that also have these tannins that create these astringent properties. And in addition to that, you have a variety of different leafy green vegetables, kale, spinach, arugula, a variety of different types of, like, let's say romaine lettuce, baby butter lettuce, red lettuce, that type of thing, watercress, right? These bitter greens, right? Bell pepper, cucumber, and all of these things combined. And a lot of these foods are going to be green foods or red foods. And that really right there shows you, because foods will really tell you by color what's good for detoxification. And the detox color is typically going to be something green. As far as how much of these foods you should eat, a general recommendation as far as these astringent foods are concerned, particularly the fruits, is a good recommendation is eating around, let's say, 4 pounds of these fruits a day, right? And maybe like a pound to a pound and a half of leafy greens a day. The herbal teas are also very beneficial, but you don't want to do it with the herbal teas because they can dry you out a bit, right? They can chap your mouth because they're a very rich source in tannins, and those tannins create that astringent effect that the fruits also do. But the fruits, they're hydrating, right? So you get all the benefits of that astringent effect without dehydrating your body. And too much dehydration can actually make your situation worse if you've already been dealing with chronic levels of dehydration that's running up your blood pressure and your blood sugar and things like that. You need to adequately hydrate your body because your body removes toxins and waste products through water. So hydration is required for that whole process to begin with. So when you eat an abundance of fruit, like 4 pounds or even 6 pounds of this fruit, that assists in that hydration process. Now, I got to leave you off with a warning because there are things that you can do to undermine the whole detoxification process in the first place. Now, going back to acid accumulation, it's important to note that there are 2 key elements in food that can cause this increase in acid formation, and that's typically going to be protein and fat, specifically protein and saturated fat, right? Those are the most acidic foods you can produce, will consume. Now, acid is not inherently a problem, right? Of course, whenever you eat food, you will be getting some protein along with your food, and you should be getting some dietary fat along with your food. But it's a matter of degree. Now, if you're trying to detoxify your body, the good sweet spot as far as protein intake would be like around 10% of your daily macros, right? You can even go up to, let's say, upwards of 16%. 16% is kind of high. I think more of the sweet spot is in between 10 and 12% of your daily macros is a good sweet spot. Now, your dietary fat, it depends on the source. So, for example, there's a very big difference between, let's say, cooking with oil, which if you're on a raw fruitarian style of a detoxifying diet, you wouldn't really be cooking in the first place, let alone really using oil. That's going to be a lot of monounsaturated fats, right? So your best sources of dietary fat would be things like nuts and seeds and avocado and coconut, right? Things like that. Coconut in particular is very good for your gut microbiome, which also helps with the detoxification process because the beneficial gut bacteria in your gut produce something called postbiotics. And postbiotics help to reinforce your immune system, heal your kidneys, your liver, and all types of stuff. So there's a lot of benefits. I mean, hormonal regulation, enzyme production, all this type of stuff is really important. It happens in your gut. So coconut, it could be coconut yogurt. It could even be coconut oil, right? It could be the coconut flesh. It could be coconut water. Things like that are fine. But then you've got hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, which are amazing because those trap toxins inside your gut through the digestive process, because as that insoluble fiber moves through your gut, it expands and binds to toxins, helping you to remove and clear out your colon and your digestive tract through that fecal bulk, right? So there's benefits to that as well. And then you've got things like pistachios and walnuts and cashews and almonds and things like that that provide, not just like caloric density and protein, a variety of different amino acids that you need. But these things also contain a really good amount of copper, and zinc, and magnesium, and manganese, and things like this, right? So there is a place for these things. But in terms of, let's say, dietary fat, you may want to have your dietary fat on a fully raw diet somewhere around 20, maybe 25%, maybe even 15% or 10%, right? You don't really want to keep your dietary fats too low on a raw vegan diet for too long because that can develop deficiencies the longer you carry that on, right? So there are degrees as far as how far into the detox you want to get. You can do 100% just fruits and vegetables. You can do 90 to 80% just fruits and vegetables. It depends on how aggressive you want to get, right? And how aggressive you get would really depend on how severe your situation is and how long you do it, right? So are you going to do it for 4 weeks? Are you going to do it for 8 weeks or 12 weeks? How much time do you have? So that's more of like a personal thing. I can help you with this personally. If you're interested in that, a little bit more of a hands-on approach, hit the link in the description box below. You can book a call with me, get a full 60 minutes, or you can sign up for a custom diet plan or personalized coaching, or join my 12-week mentorship. Really all depends on what you need. And remember, whatever isn't growing is dying. So we got to learn how to live or die trying.